Tonight on CTV News at 6, Infill infringes on City Council's summer break. Vacations delayed as most, but not all, of Council explores the contentious topic for a fourth day.
I think our primary obligation is to finish our work before we break.
Shots fired in southwest Edmonton.
I was like, no, that's a gunshot. So I picked up my dog and I started running down the back alley.
And a test in our city for Canada's men's rugby team.
You know, you want the sport, you want your people behind your back.
Well, we knew it would be hot today, and it was. We made it into the 30s, close to a record. And now after this, we start to cool off. Temperatures returning to more seasonal values. What are those? I have those details coming up.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. After days of debate, city councillors have voted on some changes to Edmonton's infill bylaw. Councillors also put a pin in one of the major proposed changes. That change was championed by at least one of two councillors who didn't attend today's meeting in favour of vacations. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
Zoning and infill housing are back on the agenda at City Hall. The first 3 days of the public hearing were capped off with this exchange between councillors as they debated extending the meeting into council's summer break.
I've been able to adjust my schedule for the most part. I will have to step away.
Point of order. That was so rude, Mr. Mayor. That was so f***ing rude. F*** you, Joanne Wright. F*** you.
Today, there are 3 empty chairs in chambers. Councillors Hamilton and Cardmell told their colleagues last week it was too late to change their vacation plans. Cardmell's mayoral campaign put out a video and statements on the matter saying it is beyond disrespectful to infringe upon those plans through poor planning and disgraceful performance by City Council. This should have been managed better. The third empty chair is Erin Rutherford's. She's participating virtually from vacation in BC, as seen on her social media.
Every council member was given a notice on June 17 to adjust their schedules.
The mayor says prior notice paired with public expectations means there's no excuse to miss this debate.
Those who are not willing to participate or unable to participate, I understand that, but I think our primary obligation is to finish our work before we break.
That work centers around tweaking Edmonton's citywide zoning bylaw 18 months after it kicked in. Most councillors agree changes to building size, window coverage, and side setbacks make sense. The sticking point is changing the mid-block unit maximum from 8 down to 6. Some councillors see it as a compromise based more on feelings than hard data.
And the reason that matters is because we don't live in a city of numbers, we live in a city of people. And
CTV's Jeremy Thompson is at City Hall, where Council reached a decision late this afternoon. Jeremy, what did they decide?
Yeah, Jeff, Council passed a handful of changes to this zoning bylaw that impact infill. Changes the mayor says prove that this council is listening to the public about this issue. Those include changes to the building size. Infill can now be a little bit shorter in length, has to be a little further apart on the side, more windows on the front, and more changes of that nature. The change that did not get made today is that mid-block maximum unit number. There was some talk about going from 8 units to 6. That discussion has now been kicked down the road a little bit. The mayor put forward a motion to ask city staff to go do more consultation on what that change would actually mean for the community, for Edmonton as a city as well. That work is supposed to come back early next year, and the conversation, of course, is supposed to be ongoing on this. I did chat with one resident who managed to stick it out through all this very long public hearing. And they say, you know, it's all well and good to have more conversation about that unit, about that concern about these giant infills going in mid-block in neighborhoods. They're worried about seeing more of the projects like that, those large 8-plexes in the meantime, before that consultation is done and while that consultation is done and before council can make an informed decision on that change. Jeff?
All right, Jeremy, thank you. That's Jeremy Thompson at City Hall tonight. People living in Terwillegar say it's nearly back to normal after a shooting yesterday afternoon. No one was hurt, but police locked down a portion of the neighborhood while they chased suspects. CTV's Connor Hogg spoke to people who live there.
This typically quiet Terwillegar street was anything but on Monday. Police say shots were fired just after 2:10 p.m.
I just started walking down the street and then I heard one gunshot and my first instinct was to not overreact. I was like, oh, maybe it's just like a firework or something.
It wasn't loud. It was like a quiet beep.
I was like, no, that's a gunshot. So I picked up my dog and I started running down the back alley.
Witnesses say the shooting happened on the street in front of this condo building.
It was right beside my house. Like, my mom parks her car there.
Police say after the shots were fired, 2 men took off in a car. After a brief chase, the 2 ran into the Cameron Heights ravine, where officers arrested them.
I seen a cop car rushed in the street. They parked. They all came out of the car really fast, and they started looking for bullets. Like one of the guy who was a pedestrian, I'm guessing, was like, "There's one here. There's one there."
I was just driving to pick up my kid from camp. The church kids were at a local park when all this happened, and then instead of bringing them back here because the road was closed, they kept them at the park.
One day after the shooting took place, this street has returned to pretty much normal. Now, some of the people who I spoke to who live here and in surrounding homes say they're afraid to go on camera for fear of potential retaliation. Others disagree, but say that the shooting is lingering in the back of their mind as they go about their daily business.
I have 2 little children that I often let play out in the yard. Our older daughter can go around the neighborhood by herself. That's really unsettling.
As long as they catch the people, that's what counts. If they're still loose, then yeah, it'll be a different story right now.
I'm pretty aware that there's good and bad that just happens everywhere, so I'm not necessarily worried to still be living here.
Despite the scare, memories of Monday aren't stopping many from spending their day outside.
It's a nice day out, the sunshine's shining, so keep on living.
Police say charges are pending. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Police are asking for help to identify a woman who was found dead in West Edmonton last month. Police say she was found in the area of 121st Ave and 157th Street in early June. Police do not believe her death to be suspicious, but they would like to close the case and notify friends and family of her death. In hopes of identifying her, the digital forensics section enhanced a photo of the woman. Police say she is 30 to 40 years old, about 5 feet 11 inches tall, and about 213 pounds. She has hazel eyes and brown hair. The opening of the Borden natural swimming pool has been delayed this summer. The city says while workers were preparing for it to open, a small leak was found in one of the pool basins. Repairs need to be done before the pool is filled. It was originally scheduled to open back in June. The opening is now rescheduled for the end of July. The pool in Borden Park is Canada's first public man-made natural swimming pool that's cleaned using natural filters instead of chemicals. Canada's men's rugby team has been training in our city, preparing to host Belgium and Spain at Clark Stadium. As Amanda Anderson reports, 3 local men have made the cut, getting a chance to represent their country in front of a hometown crowd.
Getting to play rugby wasn't easy for Dia Voltkotza, growing up in Grande Cache, Alberta.
We had a 7s team, so we had that for a year or 2, but not a lot of rugby in a small town, more of a hockey town, of course.
Unable to kick his passion for the game, his parents would drive him to Edmonton to play.
4 hours one way, 4 hours back, so I owe a lot to them. They helped me to get where I am today.
Today, he's preparing to represent Canada as the men's rugby team kicks off its 2025 season at Clark Stadium in Edmonton.
But I'm glad I stuck with it because being able to be with the boys and represent this country is incredible.
2 other local men, Brock Gallagher and Austin Creighton, also made the Canadian squad.
That's every kid's dream, growing up playing this sport, right? So yeah, just trying to make dreams come to reality here.
The team will take on Belgium Saturday, then go head-to-head with Spain the following Friday. Games head coach Stephen Meehan says are important.
They give us the opportunity to test out some systems and also look at some combinations in regards to, inside the team, with our players. It gives the players the opportunity to sort of feel their way, but, ultimately you want to make a winning start.
A winning start, Meehan hopes, will give players momentum. They need to beat the U.S. in August to qualify for a spot in the Men's Rugby World Cup.
I think it was the first time that Canada had missed out in 2023, but this is our first game together, so we've had to make some changes to try and give ourselves the best opportunity to get back in.
As the team prepares to tackle the season, the local players are looking forward to starting in front of a hometown crowd.
You want the support, you want your people behind you, backing you. The pressure helps you play better, at least in my mind, and I think also just when I have people I know in this crowd, it makes me want to play harder or better.
Tickets for both upcoming games are still available. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A new ice cream pop-up at Crestwood Community Hall is hoping to provide a lot of joy with little environmental impact. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has the scoop.
There's no better way to beat the heat than with a cold treat. Bestie Ice Cream is looking to power its dessert with sunshine all summer long with this solar-paneled sea container.
And so this sort of lets us make the most of the summer season in neighborhoods where we wouldn't necessarily otherwise open a full shop.
The pop-up sits outside Crestwood Community Hall. Kind Ice Cream is the business behind Bestie. It says one of its core values is kindness to the environment.
So when we were trying to conceptualize the shop, we knew that it would be off the grid, but it didn't really sit right with us to just have this like fully generator-powered shop.
Instead, it went with this, a sea container that uses 7 solar panels from local green energy company Grengen to keep their ice cream cold, crucial for customers.
We get a lot of sun in the summer too, so why not?
And ice cream won't melt.
This is the first time we've done like a commercial shop, and it was really quite a fun project to do, to be honest.
Grengen founder Connie Stacy says on a cloudy day, batteries full of stored solar energy are used with a backup generator as a last resort.
These are actually manufactured here in Edmonton, which I'm super proud of. And so this is where all the stored energy goes.
With 9 staple flavors to choose from, Bestie plans to bring more sea container shops to other communities down the road.
It's getting to look into neighborhoods that don't have a lot of commercial hubs that wouldn't necessarily have a full-blown ice cream shop, but could definitely sustain a summer shop.
With the power to create joy, the only chance it'll melt is once it's in your hands.
Does the ice cream taste any different?
Do you want to? I've already been on it.
Nope, tastes just as good as it always does.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
That was a scorcher out there today, Corey.
I bet a lot of the ice cream places were probably packed today. And as we look outside right now through the CTV drone, we can see that there is some cloud in the region. You're looking southwest towards downtown. That cloud has been moving in as we've been progressing throughout the afternoon, but it won't be sticking around. It will break as we go throughout the later parts of the evening. Here's another vantage point. Temperature right now, 30. We did make it to 32, so quite warm today. Not a record. Record for today is 33. We reached 33 last year on this day in July. Last July was very hot. We had 12 days at 30 or above last year, so it was a very hot July. This is our second day above 30 so far for this July. As we take a look at the next 10 days, we get back to average seasonal temperatures for tomorrow as well as Thursday. 23s for a high, bit of a jump on Friday. And then as we get into the mid part of next week, we could see another 30 in the forecast. So we do see another big temperature jump for next week. So we go throughout the evening, about 28 at 9. Overnight tonight, we'll dip down to 16. And then as we go throughout tomorrow, 23 for a high. We will see a mix of sun and cloud. Mid-afternoon, a slight chance of showers, possibly some thunder showers, pretty slight at this point, but a better chance for tomorrow, about a 40% chance tomorrow afternoon that we could see some showers or possibly some scattered thunderstorms. 23 again for Thursday. Friday, a high of 27. The weekend, a little bit cooler than that. It looks nice. I'll have those details, your 5-day forecast, next time we chat weather.
Thank you, Corey. Still to come on CTV News at 6, rewards for reading.
If you choose the right books that you like, you can really enjoy reading.
Reading challenges at local libraries this summer, and they're not just for kids. Plus,
welcome to Season 11 of The Amazing Race Canada.
The season of Amazing Race kicks off from Commonwealth Stadium with a local couple fighting for the top prize.
Do you buy? Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Local libraries want more children and adults reading this summer. Both the Edmonton and St. Albert public libraries are holding summer reading challenges. St. Albert's comes with an elaborate setup. CTV's Narman Issa reports.
We said we would foster this puppy.
Madeline and Finnegan McKeever have signed up for a reading challenge at the St. Albert Public Library.
The 2 boys spent hours and hours drawing their very own comic books.
The kids set their reading goals and track their minutes. An easy task, as Dad says reading is a family hobby.
We've had books in their life forever. Mom and Dad read a lot. They read a lot. So, it's really important for us to get them reading as much as we can.
The St. Albert Public Library is running its annual summer reading game. This year, more than 1,800 kids have signed up.
It's better than going on the computer or anything like that. It teaches you better stuff.
The library goes all out.
Through this yellow curtain here, we've got the combusting kitchen.
Creating these interactive setups. This year's theme is a mad scientist laboratory.
Each week they come, they're helping keep the scientists' experiments in order. They're trying to find ingredients to turn him back into a human. And in the meantime, between their visits, they're reading.
Last year, more than 1 million minutes of reading were recorded. The library is looking to break that record.
For some kids, they might spend half an hour reading and read 5 chapters of a book. Other kids, they spend the same amount of time reading, the same amount of effort, and maybe they get through 1 or 2 chapters of a book. So it really incentivizes the time and effort that they're putting in.
Summer reading clubs aren't just for kids. The Edmonton Public Library has an adult reading challenge.
Adults were really nostalgic for those reading clubs that their kids were getting involved in, for the ones that they may have participated in their youth.
The reading challenges wrap up in August. Nairnisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
11 new teams are set to compete in the Amazing Race Canada, and it all starts tonight in our city.
The Commonwealth Stadium, home of the Edmonton Elks, and welcome to Season 11 of the Amazing Race Canada. The guy.
Season 10 winners were from Edmonton, and the city has another chance at the crown. As many fans already know, superfan Magoo and his wife Skylene are competing this season. Host John Montgomery spoke to CTV Morning Live today. He says the pair bring a certain energy to the competition.
Skylene and Blair, Nippy and Magoo are going to be bringing it in spades and representing the community, representing their families, representing the people in their lives that are most important to them. And they're going to do it in how you've come to know superfan Magoo, in a lot of energy, with his Edmonton style, of course, in check.
Amazing Race Canada Season 11 premieres tonight at 9 o'clock on CTV. Edmonton Oilers forward Leon Draisaitl is paying it forward in his hometown.
Sind hier Mädels dabei? Nee. Doch, wir haben beides, wir haben alles dabei. Alles gut? Ja.
Draisaitl was recently in Cologne, Germany, to donate hockey equipment to the city's only junior hockey program. Draisaitl met with players from the Junghaie, or the Young Sharks. That's the youth division of the German professional league, Cologne Sharks. Dry in the NHLPA Goals and Dreams program is giving the club 58 full sets of hockey equipment over 2 seasons. There's 29 sets a season to match Draisaitl's number. Officials with the Young Sharks say the children had a wonderful day they will certainly not forget in a hurry. Coming up, scorching stampede.
Oh, it is boiling. It is heat-searing.
Tips to stay cool on the midway so you can still enjoy the show.
Pretty hot here in Edmonton, too. We made it up to 32 degrees today. We're starting to see our temperature drop off a little bit. If that was a little bit too hot for you, the good thing is we see some cooler days ahead. Temperatures back to seasonal. We've seen some cloud move into the Edmonton area. We'll also see that break up. I have full forecast details, your 5 and 10 day after break.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Basement Systems Edmonton. Contact us today for all things basement-y.
With scorching hot weather returning this week, sun and heat safety is top of mind. It's especially important when enjoying events like the Calgary Stampede. The hot concrete and huge crowds can intensify the effects of the heat. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg has some tips.
As the sun blazes and the temperatures rise, Stampede Park heats up even more with all the people and pavement.
Oh, it is boiling. It is heat-searing.
So when you find a way to cool off, you've really got to sink your teeth and toes into it.
It helps a lot, actually.
Anytime there's shade, we got to take a little stop, get a little misting.
So when the heat hits 28, we pull out extra misters, and there's extra water fountains. So we want to make sure this is a safe place for everybody. And so when the heat comes up, we make sure that there's ways to stay cool.
While water filling stations have long lines during the heat, slowing down for a while doesn't hurt.
If you can go inside where there is air conditioning for an extended period of time, so at least a half an hour, if not an hour.
Taking temperatures at several locations around the park shows the places with a bit of relief. It was about 30 degrees Celsius, and that was the temperature reading at Elbow River Camp. In the shady grandstand seats, it was 25 degrees. In the BMO's Western Oasis, it was 23 degrees. In the Western Event Center, it was 21 degrees. The worst, of course.
Okay, let's see how hot the midway pavement is. 46 degrees.
Some people find alternatives.
So hot out. I'm dying out there. And plus I wanted to get lemonade inside and not stand outside for lemonade.
If the heat starts making you feel lightheaded or nauseous with a fast heart rate, you might need medical attention.
And heat stroke is actually something that is very serious, and you can be hospitalized because of that.
There are EMS crews at the park, and you can call 911 to get help. Pretty much every stampede comes with some extreme heat, so people know to plan ahead.
We brought like 7 water bottles, and we also have a cooler full of other cool drinks.
We'll go to the BMO Center, and we will go into the Big Four. There's an arcade in there that we saw.
Or make some last-minute purchases.
And we weren't really planning on buying it. We were just protecting their heads from all the hotness.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
All right, if you're keeping track, 10 days or so until K-Day starts, but today was a nice, beautiful, hot day to practice staying safe on the Midway.
Yeah, the good thing is it's only lasting for today, and we get a bit of a break from the heat. That's also the case in southern areas of the province. The heat, they get a bit of a break, at least in Calgary, so the heat, very short-lived, although the southeast corner will be quite warm for another day. Here's your view from the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace, fixed right, or it's free. We are at 30. The camera's shaking around. Still a bit of a breeze right now here in the city, but hey, we'll take a little bit of a breeze with this heat, make it feel a little bit better. We added 2 days, yesterday and today, to above average seasonal highs for this time of year. 32 today. 32 last Wednesday, so now we have 2 days at 30 degrees or above for this month so far. I don't know if you recall me mentioning, but last July we had 12 days at or above 30 degrees, so it was quite a bit hotter last July. Next Wednesday, possibly 30 degrees. So we could see a few more scattered throughout the month. Right now, we are at 30. Warm spot, Medicine Hat, 33. Lethbridge, not too far from there, 31. Even quite warm in the Mountain Parks. Banff, 28. Jasper, a nice 24. As we go throughout the evening, there is a risk that we could see some scattered thunderstorms, possibly some severe thunderstorms. There is a severe thunderstorm watch that has been added for Westlock, Lac La Biche, Slave Lake, Whitecourt, as well as Edson. So the potential for some thunderstorms there. Heat warning still in place, areas east of Calgary, Strathmore, Brooks, as well as Medicine Hat. That'll probably still be in place for tomorrow, as those areas still expect to see some temperatures. We're starting in and around 30 degrees. Still starting to see some thunderstorms now popping up northwest of the city into the zone where we are under severe thunderstorm watch. Right now, south of High Prairie, north of Whitecourt, that is pulling to the east-northeast. We could see some of those storms start to pop up as we go throughout the rest of the supper hour and in throughout the mid part of the evening. For us here in Edmonton, cloud coming in, we shouldn't see any sort of activity like that. As we take a look at the futurecast, in those areas, we start to see things pop up and build up north of Barrhead, Slave Lake as well, and that'll all pull to the north. Fort McMurray could see some thunderstorms in and around midnight. Overnight tonight, we see a little bit of clearing. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud, and then tomorrow afternoon, a slight chance we could see some showers, possibly some scattered thunder showers. Better chance towards Vegreville as well as Camrose. Tomorrow morning in the north, starting off 11 degrees for Peace River, 12 for Slave Lake, as well as Fort McMurray in the south Calgary. A cool 11 degrees, so cooling off quite nicely. In the lower 20s for areas to the north of us for tomorrow. That is also the case for areas to the south, with exception Lethbridge and Medicine Hat still in the 30s, 35 for Medicine Hat. So still feeling the heat for tomorrow, probably still under an extreme heat warning. Overnight tonight, 26 heading into the overnight period, 16 to start off tomorrow morning, 23 for tomorrow, slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms. As we take a look at Thursday, very similar, 40% chance of thunderstorms. Friday, a little bit warmer at 27, and there's your weekend. 25 Saturday. Sunday, we could see some showers and a high of 20. Jeff.
Thank you, Corey. Stay with us. Up next, questions about accountability.
We will get answers. Right now, all of our resources are focused to recovery.
A closer look at the intense conditions rescuers are facing in the Texas floods and tough questions about weather warnings. Also next.
The fact that we could charge with facilitating a terrorist activity, that it means that people were actually preparing.
The RCMP accusing active Canadian military members of trying to start an anti-government militia.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Federated Co-ops. Find your summer sweepstakes. Unlock your chances to win at your local co-op.
The RCMP is accusing some active members of the Canadian Armed Forces of trying to start an anti-government militia motivated by violent extremism. 4 men are facing charges. Here's CTV's Michael Couture on who they are and what they were allegedly planning.
We know that 2 of the accused are active members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Now, police allege 3 of the 4 have been planning to create a militia. And according to the charges, the plan was to forcibly take possession of land in the Quebec City area. With 83 guns and accessories, about 11,000 rounds of ammunition, and smoke grenades, police believe the group was ready to do something serious. A search in January of 2024 also turned up 4 pairs of night vision goggles and military equipment.
The fact that we could charge with facilitating a terrorist activity, that it means that people were actually preparing, were taking actions that led us to believe that they wanted to actually achieve something and wanted to commit this violent terrorist acts.
The RCMP has charged 4 people, and the Department of National Defence confirms 2 of them are active members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Matthew Forbes faces charges related to possession of firearms. Marc-Auriel Chabot, Simon Anger Odette, and Raphaël Lagacé are all facing charges related to facilitating terrorist activity. The terrorism charges span a period between 2021 and 2024 in Montreal, Quebec City, Petawawa, and Ralston, Ontario. Lagacé's friend of 12 years is shocked at the accusation that he would be trying to create an anti-government militia. It's quite the contrary, actually. He's very pro-government, very pro-monarchy, says the friend. Police say one of the accused created and ran this Instagram account, which was a recruiting tool for new members of the militia.
As soon as they start talking about seizing land, this goes to me to, I think about some of the militias operating in the United States that set up strongholds, areas where the federal government can't go, and try to really keep out law enforcement.
The 4 accused made a brief court appearance this afternoon in Quebec City, and all of them will remain in custody until their next court date, July 14th. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Changes are coming to the way the Canadian government awards contracts. The Office of the Procurement Ombuds says the current system is flawed.
We can no longer sustain Band-Aid solutions. We have to address the foundational issue that our system is too complex and it's not working for all participants.
Today, the Ombuds said the department will appoint a chief procurement officer, among other changes. They will be tasked with keeping the department accountable for issues like a lack of documentation and a lack of interdepartmental communication. The changes are in response to a report from the Auditor General that found issues with the way federal contracts were awarded and monitored. 2 pilots are dead after a mid-air collision southeast of Winnipeg this morning. Emergency crews found the wreckage of 2 small aircraft near a landing strip south of Steinbach. RCMP say there were no passengers on either of the planes. The owner of a Manitoba flight school says the pilots were students trying to land their planes at the same time.
The company's 50 years old. It hasn't happened. Devastated. It's really... very personal.
The Transportation Safety Board has taken over the investigation. More than 100 families in Texas are now receiving the news their loved ones didn't survive deadly flooding. While stories of heroism are emerging, so are details of the challenging circumstances in which rescuers are working and testy exchanges over accountability. CTV's Adrian Garburator has more.
There's people in it. Oh my God, there's so many people in it.
This video from Camp La Junta shows a cabin ripped from its foundation, floating down the Guadalupe River. Attending the camp, brothers Braden and Brock Davis, who credit their counselors with saving their lives.
Our bed started tipping over, and like we got to the top really quick.
I want my world to know the Lord of love has come to me.
As campers sing a hymn, a passenger on board this evacuation bus realizes the level of devastation.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
These young girls were rescued from Camp Mystic, where more than 24 have been confirmed dead. The National Weather Service issued their first public warning at 1:14 a.m. on the 4th of July. The Kerr County Sheriff admitting that he wasn't aware of the fast approaching surge until at least 3 hours later.
When I was first notified, it was around the 4 to 5 area. One of my sergeants was in dispatch when the first calls started coming in, the actual 911 calls come in.
Though officials today declined to answer whether a local emergency manager notified authorities of the incoming flash flood.
We will get answers. Right now, all of our resources are focused to recovery.
With the chance of any further rescues fading with each passing hour, hope in Central Texas is turning to heartache over the precious lives swept away. During a cabinet meeting today, President Donald Trump praised the quick deployment of state and federal rescue crews, saying that without them, the number of dead could have doubled or even tripled. Trump confirming that he will be traveling to survey the natural disaster zone in Texas this Friday. Adrian Garburator, CTV News, Washington.
And President Trump says he is bringing in a new tariff that could have a major impact on Canada.
Today we're doing copper.
Copper, what would that tariff be on? The section tariff?
I believe the tariff on copper, we're going to make it 50%. But
the U.S. President made that statement during a cabinet meeting today. Trump's Commerce Secretary later said the import tax will likely take effect by the end of this month or on August the 1st. Canada is a top supplier of copper to the United States. The U.S. accounted for 52% of Canada's copper export value in 2023. The metal is used in construction, transportation, electronics, and many other industries. Trump says he also plans to introduce pharmaceutical tariffs that could reach 200% and duties on imported semiconductors. The NHL and its Players Association have ratified an extension of their collective bargaining agreement. The extension means there will be labor peace in the sport through 2030. The sides came to a tentative agreement on the 4-year extension late last month. It includes an 84-game regular season with less exhibition play. It also includes shorter maximum contract lengths, a playoff salary cap, and no mandatory dress code for players. Gen Z entered the workforce mid-pandemic when masks and remote meetings were the norm. Some say this has impacted their so-called soft skills. As CTV's Vanessa Wright reports, many younger employees are struggling to fit into the working world.
The pandemic is fading, but its impacts are proving to be long-lasting, particularly when it comes to the underdeveloped social skills of Gen Z, as the expectation to move from online to in-person became a reality.
Even though I knew people before, it was like strange to come and talk to them.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Simon Sherry says the effects felt by Gen Z, people born between 1997 and 2012, have much to do with the restrictions that were in place during COVID.
they were exposed to prolonged remote learning. On top of that, they're a generation very much involved in screens, which doesn't promote your social and emotional competencies in real time.
As a result, etiquette specialist Julie Blake-Homo says important soft skills like a strong handshake were never taught or adapted. Same thing goes for social skills outside the workplace.
Dining etiquette, a lot of them find themselves at a power business lunch or breakfast or dinner, and they're paralyzed because they don't know, is that my bread plate? Is it okay to clink wine glasses?
So how can you tell if you may be in need of workplace etiquette?
If after an event, a meeting, you're constantly thinking back, oh, yeah, that wasn't great, eh? I wish I would have known better.
Como says her Gen Z clients have expressed a willingness to learn.
I do believe that the soft skills, that the etiquette will help all, not only Gen Z employees, but all of us.
It's going to be difficult and a little stressing, but the more we'll do it, the more it's going to be easy and normal to us.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Still ahead, a once-in-fashion kitchen trend could be on the chopping block in one Canadian city.
It doesn't just disappear down the drain. It actually costs us, and it costs us all.
Why one city councillor in Vancouver wants Garburators gone. Checking on the markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 73 cents to the American dollar. Oil was up 40 cents, ending the day at $68.33 U.S. a barrel. Gold lost nearly $26 on the day. The TSX closed 116 points lower, while the Dow Jones was down 165. Gas prices in Edmonton and other Alberta cities have been going up and down even within a single day. According to Gas Buddy, prices in Edmonton currently range from just under 112 cents a litre to almost 132. Meanwhile, in Calgary, cars lined up today at stations listed at 102 and 103 cents a litre. Prices not seen in that city in years. Hours later, they were back in the 120s, around the city average. Global oil price changes and instability in the Middle East have been contributing to gas price variations across Canada. One analyst says you should take advantage when you can.
The break-even's probably about $1.20 a liter today. So, the margin for a lot of stations might only be 9 or 10 cents a liter. And those stations that are selling close to $1 are probably taking it on the chin.
He says the low prices aren't likely to last long, with the price of oil starting to stabilize as tensions cool in the Middle East. New data shows Alberta's public investment fund spent a little less than $8 million last year in severance to laid-off executives. Chief Investment Officer Marlene Puffer received nearly $6 million when she was let go last September. She was there for about 20 months. Weeks later, AIMCO fired the entire board. Former Prime Minister Stephen Harper is now board chair. AIMCO manages $180 billion in pension money for public employees in Alberta. The report on severance pay came in its annual report released last month. As Amazon rolls out its Prime Day sale, the company is facing increased scrutiny from Canada's Competition Bureau. Amazon controls 40% of the online marketplace. The Competition Bureau has obtained a court order to compel Amazon to hand over records for its investigation. The Bureau is looking at 3 areas specifically: whether Amazon charges higher fees to sellers, forcing them to pass on costs to customers, whether Amazon prevents sellers from offering lower prices on competing sites, and if Amazon's actions lessen competition in the online marketplace. So far, the Bureau has not found any misconduct. Amazon says it is focused on getting customers products they want at low prices. Garburators remain in many homes across Edmonton. In Vancouver, they could soon be a thing of the past. The city is considering making them illegal in all new construction projects. CTV's St. Alexander explains why.
Wouldn't it be fun to never have to wrap a bit of garbage?
Once highly fashionable, in fact, like a television set, all the good homes had one.
This wonderful appliance is completely out of your way.
Now, decades later, they're not considered so swell. And a motion before Vancouver City Council argues they should be scrapped altogether. In new homes, that is.
It doesn't just disappear down the drain. It actually costs us, and it costs us all.
Put forward by Councillor Pete Fry. He points to the strain they put on our treatment plants. It's not just fruit and veg that are plunged, but lots of fatty bits that are creating big, ugly bits called fatbergs.
If we could mitigate and minimize the amount of organic material that has to be screened and removed from the system, it's probably a good thing for us in the long run.
Cities all over North America have already turfed them. Raleigh in North Carolina, one of the first, and at the time, not a popular move.
I've heard the word dictatorship used. People in Garner are using it. They even refer to it as a big brother mentality.
People were putting the wrong things down, and that caused frequent sewage overflows.
Will do their part to let the customers know when they come in to buy these that they're banned.
In Metro Vancouver, banning disposal units has been debated several times over several years, but it never really picked up steam, possibly because they're not as fashionable, there aren't as many, and people have taken to composting.
But there was a lot of pushback from the industry at the time, and because it was coming up on election year, I think the council had cold feet and they backed off.
Even so, council will decide this week whether to ban Garburators or toss the idea once again. St. John Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
The City of Edmonton says it encourages people to sort as much food scraps as possible from their garbage and dispose of them in their green carts. Coming up, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Nathan Fillion.
This is crazy. I had a comic book rack in my room when I was a kid. I was steeped in all of this stuff, and here I am. It's my job. I'm living it.
The Edmonton-born actor's career reaching new heights in support of Superman.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
An Edmonton-born actor is stepping into a supersuit in one of the summer's most anticipated blockbusters. Nathan Fillion will be supporting Superman in the role of Green Lantern. CTV's Andrea Case reports.
Actor Nathan Fillion is in the biggest film of his 30-plus year career.
So do you know who he is?
Yes, I know this.
So you know he's Clark Kent.
Why does he trust everyone?
He doesn't. Just us, because we are also of the cloth.
Of the cloth?
The Edmonton-born actor co-stars as the Green Lantern in the new DC reboot of Superman and the upcoming TV show Lanterns.
This is crazy. I had a comic book rack in my room when I was a kid. I was steeped in all of this stuff, and here I am. It's my job. I'm living it.
What I think we should do is bleach his sideburns so that he has to walk around in real life with just bleach sideburns. I can hear you.
His version of the Green Lantern has made waves partially because of his bowl-cut hairstyle, which director James Gunn had a lot of fun with. This Green Lantern, a.k.a. Guy Gardner, is macho and brash.
As an actor, there's something very freeing about playing that kind of guy, about being a jerk. And I think also far more relatable.
A jerk? No. Relatable? Yes.
He's gloriously Canadian.
Fellow Canadian Melissa O'Neill spoke about her co-star on the TV show The Rookie during the CTV Upfront last month.
He really makes people feel welcome. He takes the time to get to know them. He's an excellent collaborator. And one of the things that I tell him all the time is like he's an exceptional leader in that he leads through example. He's very humble, and I love that about him.
That humble quality was on full display as the 54-year-old received an honorary Doctor of Law degree from Concordia University of Edmonton in May.
Now get out there, be lucky. Get out there and be grateful. And get out there and pretend you're ready. I am telling you, that is how the best adventures begin.
Advice given and advice he lives by. Superman is in theaters on Friday. Andrea Case, CTV News.
All right, and in honor of that and our scorching hot day today, I just looked up, does the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion, there, I said it properly, you didn't think I could, does it have shade? No, it does not, so can't escape the sun there today.
Yeah, you're going to need to take an umbrella with you if you want to go down and visit.
There you go.
Yeah, and it comes out on Friday. Friday's going to be another warm day, not as hot as today. Today we made it up to 32. Back to more seasonal temperatures for tomorrow and Thursday, 23 for a high. Slight risk we could see some thunderstorms in the afternoon, better chance on Thursday, and then Friday a bit of a jump at our temperature, 27. As far as the weekend, 25 Saturday with sun and cloud. Could see some showers on Sunday, and then next week, another possible 30 on Wednesday.
Sounds great. Thanks, Corinne. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit ctvnewsedmonton.ca or now the CTV channel on YouTube. See ya.